Hello, everybody, and welcome to the China Club. My name is Ade.
My name is David.
So, David, what's our topic today?
Today, well, we did cars before.
We did cars.
And I like doing it, but we missed a very important part when we talked about cars, which was
What was that?
parking.
Very important part of cars, culture, and driving culture.
If you have a car, you gotta park somewhere, right?
Right.
And living in Korea, you might end up wanting to say park with an F sometimes. Because it just gets a little crazy with the narrow roads, not enough spaces.
Right.
And you might run into something called a park tower.
Parking tower.
Yeah, parking tower.
Can you break down what a parking tower is for us?
So we all know what a tower is. It's a tall building.
Right.
But it's for cars. So there's going to be a parking lot, I guess, parking space on each floor. Maybe 2 or 4 cars can park on each floor.
Okay.
And you don't drive up any ramp or anything. You just put it into an elevator, and the elevator will slot you into those slots.
That's what I call it a parking tower elevator.
Yeah, parking. Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, because Korea is not massive in land size like Canada or America, they have to come up with a solution so that cars can park somewhere, right?
Right.
So they built like an apartment complex
With these parking towers.
Yeah, towers for cars. So basically a car tower or park towers.
So do you have any experience? Because I don't drive that much in Korea. You have a car, you drive a lot, you park a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience with these parking towers or just parking in general?
Yeah, parking towers are everywhere in Korea. Even this apartment that I'm living in has 3 parking towers,
Sure.
As well as a parking lot, the spaces here. And so I use it very frequently, but I just don't like it. I only use it when there's nowhere else to park. Right? It's the last resort.
Right.
Otherwise, if you park on a street and you could get fined by those patrol cars.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see those. I see them sometimes. I don't see parking tickets being given down here that often. Like I don't think it's a big revenue stream.
They mail it to you. And if you don't pay the fine on time, then you get those interests, the late penalty fee.
Sure. Yeah. I find the parking culture in Korea like really different from back home.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna jump into it. But when you're parking in Korea, you don't know if you're allowed to park on this road or not. There's no clear signs where you're allowed to park.
Yeah, it's 애매해. That's why you call it ambiguous in Korean. Also, the number, the style of parking, I guess, is a little different too.
Oh yeah.
Like, you usually in Canada, I usually put my cars drive in forward. I forgot what the term is called.
Front face parking.
Front face parking. There we go. Our instructor here. But here in Korea, I think 90% of the people does reverse parking.
I think like 95, like a lot. I never see really front face parking here.
Yeah, and they're really good at it.
Right.
And so I learned to change my way of parking here in Korea. So I do most of my parking reverse parking as well, no matter where it is.
Oh, even in Canada, you weren't doing reverse. You doing like front?
Yeah, always front.
I never do front.
Then that just changed my way of parking, really. But it's convenient because when you exit, when you go out, you just have to look forward and go out. You don't have to be careful about people like walking by or whatever, right? So if you go to like apartment complexes or universities even, they have plants by the parking spaces. And they have a notice saying, do not reverse park. Did you ever see that?
I've never seen that.
Because they don't want the mufflers, the gas mufflers, to blow into the plants.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so if you ever see that sign, make sure you do the front-facing park.
Do you want to know what I have seen on university campuses since I work on one?
What?
Cars parking anywhere.
Oh, like on the streets too, right?
So they have like a parking lot.
Yeah.
Like near in front of the building, and there's like a huge driveway in and out that building, and they'll just park right in the middle.
In the middle
of the driveway.
Oh, I think I've seen something like that in one of the universities too.
Right.
But then when a car does that, the whole area just becomes a parking lot.
It takes one person to start it.
Yeah.
I've seen this was like kind of viral in Korea, YouTube or whatever.
Okay.
But I've seen people like double parking
Oh yeah.
and leaving their keys in the car
really?
unlocked saying, I'm so sorry, I had to double park, late for class or whatever. If you have to leave, just move my car.
Oh, wow.
Right? Something you for sure would not see back home in Canada.
You do that if you do that in North America,
it's
like, bye-bye to your car.
You're just gifting somebody a car.
Merry Christmas to you, right?
Right.
Yeah, very different. You would never do that in America or Canada. But I do notice that people here also leave their phone numbers a lot on their car, on their windshields.
Everybody, pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So I live in a building, a smaller building. They call like the office tells here.
Okay.
And double parking is normal. Right. So people in America, no one double parks.
Is it called a double park?
Yeah, double park.
In Korean, we call it 이중 주차, and that's double park.
Double park, right?
Yeah,
We call it double parking, where you literally blocking the person by parking, right?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to leave your phone number because double parking here is kind of normal.
Yeah.
And then you just call the person, and they come downstairs and move it. I got a crazy story for you.
Okay.
Not that crazy, but it was in my apartment building. Super limited parking in my building.
Yeah.
And a KT, I shouldn't say that. Well, whatever. Yeah, a KT car, a company car from another company.
Yeah.
He was making a service call in another building.
Yeah.
He didn't double park.
Okay.
He just parked in the middle of our parking lot. Like he took up 2 spaces.
Oh man.
In a small like Kia Pride.
Bad manners.
And took off.
What? And no phone number on the windshield?
I don't know. Like thank goodness I didn't have to drive that day.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I know, Korea's everyone's very generous and whatnot. But when it comes to parking and driving sometimes.
Yeah. Koreans kind of put on a different switch.
When
they drive and park. Have you ever seen, I've seen on YouTube videos as well as people reserving car park spaces. Like, by meaning like a person would be standing in front of a car park space and then you see a line of cars waiting to get into that slot, but then this lady is
just not moving it.
Right. She's telling all the cars that it's reserved for my husband or my family member. It's ridiculous.
I'm so happy I have never seen that.
I've never run into that situation myself, but I've seen lots of videos of people doing it. Not just in Korea, though. It's all around the world.
Right.
But it's ridiculous.
Super ridiculous. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
All right? And you let me know your thoughts. So in Korea, in Seoul, I think it changed now, but they did have it for a long time. Yeah. They had women-only parking spaces.
Oh, I've seen that.
What are your thoughts on that?
That was common. I think I saw that in Canada first, like 20 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not women only. It was for pregnant women.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I know what you mean by women only.
Women only parking. Like, doesn't mean if they're pregnant or not. Just like you're a woman, this is your parking spot.
I know why they did it though. I know why they did it. Especially at night in Korea. There's been recently cases of sexual harassment and sexual assault by perverts out there, and so I think the government decided to provide some sort of a security benefit for women, so that when they want to park to go back home,
they park more closer to
the entrance, and they designate those areas for the disabled and for women only.
Interesting, because when I asked my friend about this, she's a woman. She got really offended by that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause she was like, "Hey, I know how to drive. I know how to park," because those parking spaces, they were much bigger than the normal parking spaces.
Okay. that I don't know, but that I have no idea.
So like,
you can argue with the city officials, but what I do know was because of the sexual harassment and sexual assault and stalkers as well.
Right.
Because most of the stalker victims tend to be women.
Sure.
Statistics.
Right.
And so they wanted to make sure that women feel safer at home. Yeah. Interesting. Another funny story I have with parking, and this is a little embarrassing a little bit, but if anyone out there is feeling the same as me, let me know in the comments. Because I drive every day, and I park every day in different places, and it could be my apartment, it could be someone else's apartment, and there could be like basement 1, 2, 3, 4, like different floor levels, right? But because there's no designated parking spaces for whoever's living in a house or whatever, like I remember in Canada,
it's designated.
If you live in the 16th floor, you have the 16th floor parking space, right? Korea, no one has any rights to any of the parking spaces. So I would park at different places every day, every time. And if I don't take notes of where I parked, I don't know where my car is from time to time. I might be suffering from memory loss or whatever, but yeah, it's just, it bothers me, right? So thank goodness though, all the cars here have smart keys, so you can beep your way to find the car. And one time I couldn't find my car.
For how long?
I was freaking out, like 10, 15 minutes.
Wow.
And I was kind of late for whatever reason, right? And I was beeping all the way, like from basement 1 to basement 2, basement 3, basement 4. I tried to, you know, put in my numbers for the park towers and whatnot. And I remembered it wasn't there I parked at someone else's apartment.
Oh my Lord.
I was sweating. I'm like trying to look for my car. No designated parking spaces in South Korea. You rarely see it. I think you see it in the older residences.
I've seen where the parking is really limited. And they designate it.
And you can buy rights to own that parking space.
Right.
But here, nah, not really.
All right.
So we talked a little bit about parking culture in Korea, some differences of Canada, North American parking culture, and Korea parking culture. Let us know what you thought. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe.
Thanks, everyone.